contaminants. The items you see in this bag are some of the objects that have been found in leafy greens. Let's think about the following questions. How did these items get into our leafy greens? Or worse still, what would happen if a consumer finds or eats with his leafy greens some of these items? Contamination can result in leafy greens being rejected by the buyer, reduces the quality of the product, and could even injure someone. The person that may eat some of these items would probably get hurt, choke, or break a tooth while eating them, and surely this will mean trouble. A food contaminant is a substance or object that can cause consumers to become ill or injured when eaten. A contaminant is any biological, chemical, or physical material unintentionally added to food that can make it unsafe or unsuitable for eating. Contaminants can get into food because of poor practices during harvesting, sorting, handling, or packing. There are three main types of contaminants that could get into leafy greens. 1. Physical contaminants. 2. Chemical contaminants. 3. Biological contaminants. All food safety programs, including this one, focuses on minimizing the risk of product contamination. It is our job to protect the food we grow from contamination so that it doesn't become the source of a foodborne illness. Let's review the three types of contaminants. A physical contaminant is a soft or hard foreign material that is incorporated into leafy greens by accident or due to poor practices during harvesting, coring, sorting, handling, packing, or storing. The items we just saw at the beginning of this chapter were all physical contaminants. Physical contaminants can include nails and clips, hair, pens and pencils, glass, money, BB pellets, cigarettes and candy wrappers. Stay alert when doing your job. If you find a physical contaminant in the leafy greens you are working with, you must always tell your supervisor. Chemical contamination occurs when food products come in contact with chemical compounds during the growing, harvesting, and packaging of leafy greens. Chemical contaminants in the field include pesticides, chemical cleaning products, sanitizers, and oil for machinery. If you see any chemicals that are used incorrectly or not stored properly, report this immediately to your supervisor. When working with chemicals, remember to always follow the manufacturer's instructions, use proper handling procedures, and never use non-appropriate containers for storing or applying chemicals. Biological contaminants are the third category of contaminants. This includes microorganisms. Although there are many different types of microorganisms, like bacteria, fungus, yeasts, parasites, and viruses, we will call all of them microbes. Microbes are living organisms that are so small that they can only be seen through a microscope. Consider that if a microbe was 1 centimeter long, then an average man would be 17 kilometers tall, 10.5 miles. There are microorganisms everywhere, in the air, water, dirt, skin, soil, environment, and even in the food we eat. Generally, we live in harmony with them, and most microbes will not hurt us. But there are several that are bad and could grow enough to make us sick. These are called pathogens. You need to prevent the bad microbes from reaching or falling into leafy greens. For practical purposes, microbes can be classified into three categories: the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good ones are beneficial microbes, which are used to make foods like beer, bread, yogurt, and cheese. Some of them are even used to make medicines and antibiotics. The bad microbes are called pathogens, which make people sick. The ugly microbes don't harm people, but can cause spoilage or decomposition of foods. They produce off flavors, smells, and textures, or undesirable appearances. Spoilage or decomposition of foods is part of food quality, not food safety. For that reason, we are only concerned about the bad microbes in this video. Remember that there can be bad microbes around us in the environment. We can carry or bring some of these bad microbes on or within our bodies. We do not want bad microbes or pathogens to get in leafy greens. The biggest challenge with microbes is that we can't see them, but good production practices and hygiene can avoid contamination with these microbes. Keep in mind that good agricultural practices, or GAP programs, include hygiene and other practices that can prevent leafy greens from becoming contaminated with bad microbes that can cause illness. You play a key role in protecting the leafy greens you work with from contamination. You can't make your own rules at the ranch. Your job is to always follow your company's food safety policies and procedures so that leafy greens are protected from contamination. Following the rules at work means taking care of your job and the product you work with. Do not improvise. If you are not sure about something, ask your supervisor. Additionally, if you see something wrong, notify your supervisor immediately about the situation. In the following chapters, you will learn how to prevent leafy greens contamination by following good hygiene practices and other procedures at work.